Hey guys, it's Patricia from Hands On Entrepreneurship for Kids. I hope everybody saw the post that I put on the Facebook page this morning. It was about how to help your child choose a business idea. And I decided to make a video about this because this is a very crucial phase in the entrepreneurial journey. Obviously, what am I going to sell? That is a very important question for every entrepreneur to answer. It's also one of the very first things that you have to do when you're starting a business. But this step is a major challenge for a lot of kids. They get stuck on this phase. So, a lot of people wanting to help, of course, they might go online, do a little research, and what do they find? A list of the best business ideas for kids. So, of course, a lot of people will think that's a great idea. Let me show this to the kid, and this can help give them some ideas. Now, every time I come across one of these lists online, it makes me kind of sad, to be honest. I avoid those lists like the plague when I work with my students. And here's why. There are two main reasons why I avoid those lists. First of all, a lot of people use those lists hoping that it will give the child some ideas and help them to think of some other creative things. But in my experience, those lists are actually limiting. So instead of getting the child to think broadly, you actually end up giving them tunnel vision when they start looking at a list like this. So, of course, that's not anyone's intent, but in my experience, a lot of times that's exactly what happens. So, this first phase in starting a business, in my opinion, should be really exciting and introspective. It should be that kind of exercise. When you present a list like that, all of a sudden, an exercise that should be introspective and exciting becomes a multiple choice question. These are your options. Pick one. You might grab a dart and just throw it at the paper at that point because how invested could you be in those ideas? Now, here's the other thing that really bothers me about those lists. If an idea is not original, it is so easy for a kid to say, you know what, this is too hard. I don't want to do this anymore. I quit. When a child is not invested in the project, if they're not invested in the idea, quitting is no big deal. Who cares? It wasn't even my idea to begin with. So, yes, that can also be a problem when you start with an idea like that. Now, when you start with an idea that's original, that's unique, that really speaks to who the child is, that's when you will see a dogged determination come out of these kids that you didn't even know was there. That's what I want for these kids going through this experience with me. So that's why I always ditch those lists and I just talk to the child because that's where the idea has to come from if they're going to be fully invested to the point where they are willing to work at it and work at it and work at it until it's a success. Now, here's a secret that I'll share with you. The business ideas that originate with these kids, they really need to resonate with who this child is at their core. That's the way that I've found you can get the most grit. That's what I wanted to say. That's how I get the most grit out of these kids. That's how I get that never say die attitude out of these kids. It's because I don't tell them what their business should be. And I don't give them a list of businesses and say, here, pick one that looks good. I find one that speaks to the child. And everything that comes after that is not easy. I don't want to say that because that wouldn't be true, but easier because The kid is already bought in to this dream. It's their dream. Of course they're bought in, and that makes everything easier. So I hope that helps you guys out a little bit. If you want a little bit more information about entrepreneurship for kids, you should definitely visit my website. I'll leave the link right here in the post somewhere so it's easy for you guys to find. Or if this is on YouTube, you can look down in the description. It'll definitely be there. I have a bootcamp course that can help kids to get a business started. And I also offer coaching services for kids who are already in business. If you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video today, feel free to leave questions in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right, guys, hope you have a good day and I hope your kids keep hustling.